Seniors quit eating 9 foods that should never be refrigerated. Here is why. What if your refrigerator is stealthily harming your health every day? Sounds impossible, right? However, buried inside that cool box are 9 typical items that react poorly to refrigeration in ways that most seniors are unaware of. It's not only about flavor and texture, it is about the harmful chemical changes, nutrient loss, and bacterial growth caused by cold storage. Here's the terrifying part. Over 99% of adults over the age of 60 continue to refrigerate these items, unaware of the harm it is causing to their gut, heart, and even their brain. Some experts believe that the modern fixation with refrigeration may be contributing to the growth of chronic illnesses. But now we'll look at the genuine science. In this video, we will expose the 9 foods that should never be refrigerated, as well as the simple facts about how to store these foods securely. Wait till you hear about number 2 on our list. It might surprise you the most. Each statement we make is supported by peer-reviewed studies. We have given links to all sources in the explanation below. Before we begin, please let us know in the comments section where you're watching from your age and if you've observed any changes in taste or texture when you freeze specific products. We read and respond to every remark with unique recommendations and guidance. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more similar content. Without further ado, let us get started. Potatoes are ranked 9th. Here's something that may surprise you. When you store potatoes in the refrigerator, you are essentially manufacturing a poisonous chemical. I am not exaggerating. The chilly temperature turns potato starches into sugars via a process known as cold-induced sweetening. It's not just about flavor. When you boil cold potatoes at high temperatures, the sugars mix with amino acids to generate acrylamide. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classified acrylamide as a potential human carcinogen. According to a University of Idaho study, potatoes stored in the refrigerator increase their sugar content by 300%. Within 2 weeks, the amount of sugar has tripled, and it happens faster than you may expect. The researchers evaluated over 500 potato samples and found consistent results across all kinds. The texture also varies. Cold temperatures degrade the cell structure, leaving your potatoes grainy and unpleasantly sweet. Have you ever wondered why your mashed potatoes occasionally taste off? Now you know the refrigerator is harming them on a cellular level. So how do you keep potatoes? Keep them in a cold, dark location around 45 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. A pantry cellar or simply a cardboard box in a closet works great. The secret is that darkness light stimulates the formation of swain, the green substance that makes potatoes poisonous. Yes, poisonous. Store them in a paper bag or basket with air circulation. Never use plastic bags as they collect moisture and promote rotting. Here's a little known pro tip. Store potatoes separately from onions, both veggies. Release gases that cause the other to spoil faster. Keep potatoes at least 3 feet apart. With appropriate storage, they can keep up to 3 months in the refrigerator. They'll be spoiled in 2 weeks. Number 8 is bread. This one surprises everyone. Your refrigerator is actually causing your bread to stale faster. It sounds counterintuitive, but the science is unequivocal. Refrigeration accelerates the process of starch degradation. That's a fancy term for when starch molecules solidify and expel moisture. Researchers at the Institute of Food Technologists observed that bread stored in refrigerators STAs 6 times faster than bread stored at ambient temperature. 6 times. They evaluated the stiffness of breadcrumbs over time and discovered that refrigerated bread hardened and crumbled in just 3 days. Room temperature bread remained fresh for an entire week. The chilly temperature also depletes the bread's inherent taste ingredients. Those volatile chemical elements give fresh bread its wonderful aroma. They degrade swiftly in the cold. Your taste buds are not lying when they say refrigerated bread tastes like cardboard. Bread is best stored at room temperature in a bread box or paper bag. The container should allow for air circulation to prevent mold, while keeping enough humidity to keep the bread moist. If you can't complete a loaf in a week, here's what to do. Slice it first and then freeze it. Freezing. Actually, it preserves bread better than refrigeration because the process occurs so quickly that ice crystals have no chance to destroy the structure. When you need bread, simply place frozen pieces immediately in the toaster. They will taste nearly as wonderful as fresh. The trick is going straight from the freezer to the toaster. Do not let them fall first. That's when moisture problems began. Number 7. Honey. Honey is arguably nature's most ideal meal. It literally never spoils. Archaeologists discovered 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that was still edible, but if you store it in the refrigerator, it will spoil in weeks. Cold temperatures cause honey to crystallize quickly. This is not hazardous, but it alters everything about the honey. The silky golden liquid transforms into a gritty hard lump that would not dissolve correctly. More crucially, refrigeration can add moisture to your honey jar. Every time you open the cold jar, condensation accumulates. Moisture is honey's enemy. According to a study conducted by the National Honey Board, honey stored below 50 degrees Fahrenheit loses up to 35% of its antibacterial capabilities. These are the ingredients that make honey an unnatural antibiotic. Honey was utilized to treat wounds by ancient civilizations because of its healing powers, which your refrigerator is destroying. The flavor profile also changes. Honey's unique flavor is the result of approximately 180 distinct chemical combinations. Cold storage causes these chemicals to degrade unevenly. Your costly raw honey starts to taste like cheap sugar syrup. Keep honey at room temperature in a firmly sealed jar. The optimal temperature ranges from 64 to 75 degrees Fahrenheit, and the intense sunshine might damage its quality. If your honey crystallizes, don't throw it away. Put the jar in warm water and gently stir. It will return to liquid form while maintaining its therapeutic characteristics. Here's something most folks don't realize. Honey's hue shows its antioxidant content. Although darker honey includes more antioxidants, chilling has a greater impact on dark honey than light honey. Honey, those wonderful antioxidants, are especially sensitive to low temperatures. Number 6. Coffee. Coffee lovers, brace yourselves. You are damaging the costly coffee you keep in the refrigerator. Here's why the refrigerator is the deadliest enemy of coffee. Coffee beans are quite porous. They absorb odors and flavors from all around them. Your refrigerator smells like leftover Chinese food, neglected cheese, and who knows what else. Your coffee is soaking everything up like a sponge. That's why your morning tea tastes strange. But odor absorption is just the start. Constant temperature variations in your refrigerator cause condensation on the beans. This dampness causes accelerated aging and can even promote mold growth. A study conducted by the Specialty Coffee Association discovered that chilled coffee beans lose 60% of their fragrant compounds in just 1 week. When you grind cold beans, the oils and coffee beans that constitute the majority of the flavor congeal in cold temperatures. These hardening oils do not effectively extract during brewing. You're left with weak, flavorless coffee that doesn't taste as it should. The ideal way to keep coffee is in an airtight container at room temperature. Not just any container though, it must be opaque because light reduces coffee quality. The best storage temperature is between 60 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, with little temperature variation from coffee in tiny quantities that will be consumed within 2 weeks. When you open a bag, the time starts ticking. Oxygen is coffee's second enemy. Some coffee fans utilize vacuum-sealed containers, but if you really need to preserve coffee, buying fresh and utilizing it soon works best. Long term, the freezer performs better than the refrigerator, but there is a catch. You can freeze it only once. Divide your coffee in weekly parts, freeze them in air paint bags, and take only what you need. Never refreeze coffee. Moisture damage from repeated freezing and thawing is irreparable. Number 5. Garlic. Garlic in the refrigerator is a disaster waiting to occur. Not only does it lose its effectiveness, but it can also become harmful. Allow me to explain why this is important, particularly for seniors who rely on garlic's health advantages. When garlic is stored in the refrigerator, it starts to grow. Those green sprouts are not only unattractive, They are also bitter and can induce gastric trouble, but that isn't the worst of it. Your refrigerator's wet, chilly climate might cause mold to grow on garlic. Some of these molds create mycotoxins, which are highly toxic chemicals. The University of California, Davis found that refrigerated garlic loses 50% of its allicin content within 10 days. Allicin is the ingredient that provides garlic's therapeutic benefits. It's what gives garlic its antibacterial, antiviral, and heart-healthy properties. When you refrigerate garlic, you essentially lose half of its nutritional value. Cold temperatures degrade garlic cell walls, making it mushy and difficult to slice well. Have you ever tried to mince refrigerated garlic? It turns into a paste that sticks to everything. Keep garlic in a cool, dry environment with excellent air movement. A mesh bag or basket works flawlessly. The optimal temperature is between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Never store garlic in a plastic or sealed container. It needs to breathe. Keep garlic away from direct sunlight as it might turn bitter. Also, avoid storing it near the stove. Cooking's heat and humidity will accelerate the sprouting process. With careful storage, a whole head of garlic can survive up to 6 months. To get the greatest quality, utilize the CLO within 10 days of breaking the head. Here's a trick that will help you adjust the temperature in your kitchen. Garlic releases flavors more quickly than cold garlic. The essential oils that carry the flavor must be flowing, not hardened by cold. Properly preserved garlic will make your recipes taste noticeably better. Number 4. Bananas. Bananas and refrigerators are not a good combination. Put a banana in the fridge and watch it develop into a dark, mushy mess. However, the damage extends far beyond appearance. The chilly temperature creates what scientists refer to as chilling damage. Bananas are tropical fruits that never get chilly in their native home. Their cells simply cannot take it. The cell membranes rupture, enzymes pour out, and the fruit begins to break down from the inside out. According to a study conducted by the Queensland Department of Agriculture, bananas refrigerated below 56 degrees Fahrenheit lose 80% of their vitamin C value in 5 days. They also stop making new nutrients. Bananas typically continue to produce helpful substances as they ripen. Refrigeration stops this process completely. The black skin is not merely unattractive. It shows that the fruit's natural defenses have failed. The brown dots indicate locations where the fruit tissue has died. Even if it is not visible, dead tissue can store bacteria and mold. Store bananas at room temperature, preferably between 56 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Hang them from a banana hook to avoid bruising. The ethylene gas they create must travel around the fruit for it to mature properly. Here is a trick. Supermarkets do not want you to know. You can influence how quickly bananas ripen. To accelerate ripening, place them in a paper bag with an apple to slow ripening. Separate the bunch and wrap each stem individually in plastic wrap. This lowers ethylene gas emissions by up to 40%. Once bananas have reached the desired ripeness, they can be refrigerated for no more than 1 or 2 days. The skin will blacken, but the inside will remain. Okay, better still, peel and freeze them to make smoothies. Frozen bananas work better in smoothies than fresh bananas because they offer a creamy texture without the need for ice. Number 3. Onions. Onions in the refrigerator could be the most common storage blunder. The damage is immediate and irreparable. Here's what happens when you close the refrigerator door. The humidity inside your refrigerator is usually approximately 95%. Onions require 65% humidity or less. The excess moisture penetrates the onion's papery outer layers, creating an ideal setting for mold growth. Black mold on onions produces aflatoxins, which are among the most dangerous compounds known to science. However, before the mold emerges, the cold temperature turns the onion starches to sugars. A Texas University study discovered that refrigerated onions had a 270% increase in sugar content. After 2 weeks, the flavor, profile, and cooking qualities have entirely changed. Your French onion soup will taste like a treat. Ice crystals grow inside the cells and burst them, resulting in a soft and mushy feel. When this occurs, the onion loses its ability to caramelize correctly. It is difficult to achieve the lovely golden brown onions seen in restaurants with refrigerated onions. Store entire onions in a cool, dry, well-ventilated area. A pantry or cellar is perfect. The temperature should be 45 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Never keep them in plastic bags. Onions need to breathe, so a mesh bag, basket, or even pantyhose works well. Keep onions separate from potatoes. I stated it before, but it needs repeating. They emit gases that contaminate each other. Also, keep them out of direct sunshine, which promotes sprouting. When you cut an onion, everything changes. Cut onions should be refrigerated in an airtight container and used within 7 days. The cut surface is susceptible to bacteria, thus refrigeration is required, although entire onions are never kept in the fridge. Number 2 is tomatoes, and now we've arrived to the most shocking meal of them all, tomatoes. The reality about refrigerating tomatoes is so disturbing that many people refuse to believe it, but the research is clear. Researchers at the University of Florida discovered a significant discovery. Refrigeration affects more than simply the texture and taste of tomatoes. It literally switches off their genes, specifically the genes that produce taste molecules. Once these genes are shut down, they never fully recover. Even if you remove the tomato and let it warm up, the harm is irreversible. The study looked at over 25,000 genes in tomatoes and discovered that temperatures below 50 degrees Fahrenheit deactivated hundreds of them. At the genetic level, the tomato ceases to exist as such. It turns into a red water balloon that has no nutritional value. This is where things get truly serious for seniors. Tomatoes are an excellent source of lycopene, a potent antioxidant that protects against heart disease and certain malignancies. Cold storage reduces lycopene availability by up to 65%, but it is not the only loss. Lycopene must be combined with specific enzymes to be absorbed by your body. Refrigeration kills these enzymes completely, rendering the remaining 35% ineffective. The texture degradation is noticeable under a microscope. Ice crystals grow between the cell walls, resulting in small punctures throughout the fruit. This is why refrigerated tomatoes turn mealy and gritty. Tomatoes must be stored at room temperature since their cellular structure has been ripped from within, stem side down. This prevents moisture and bacteria from entering via the stem scar. The optimal temperature ranges between 55 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Keep them out of direct sunlight, but do not store them in a dark cupboard. They require indirect light to sustain their nutrients. Never keep tomatoes in plastic bags. They emit ethylene gas, which needs to escape. If trapped, this gas speeds the decaying process. A single rotten tomato in a plastic bag can ruin a whole batch within 24 hours. Ripe tomatoes should be consumed within 3 to 5 days. If you have too many, create sauce and freeze it instead. Co-ed tomato products have more accessible lycopene than raw tomatoes, and freezing keeps it completely. Number 1. Avocados. We've saved the best for last. Avocados. What happens to avocados in the refrigerator should be illegal. The damage is so complete and catastrophic that all other foods appear insignificant in contrast. Avocados contain more than 20 vital elements. They are one of the few fruits that contain good fats, notably oleic acid, which is essential for brain function in seniors. However, lipid peroxidation, a process that occurs during chilling, eliminates these lipids. The chilly temperature causes the fats to oxidize faster, producing damaging free radicals rather than good nutrients. Stanford University researchers show that refrigerated avocados lose 90% of their antioxidant potential in just 4 days. 90%. Avocados are rich in antioxidants, especially vitamins E and C, which make them beneficial to aging bodies. They prevent inflammation, promote eye health, and increase nutritional absorption from other foods. But here's the most shocking part. The chilly temperature does not simply cease ripening. It activates an enzyme which actively destroys the fruit within itself. Proliferal oxidase is the same enzyme that produces browning. However, in the cold, it gradually breaks down cell membranes, transforming good molecules into bitter, potentially dangerous poisons. The texture alteration is irrevocable. Those smooth, creamy avocados transform into stringy, watery disappointments. The lipids split from the fibers. Your guacamole will be ruined before you even start because of the oily mess that makes it tough to mash properly. Keep unripe avocados at room temperature, ideally between 65 and 75 degrees Fahrenheit. Place them in a dish on your counter rather than a zipped bag. They need air circulation to ripen correctly and quickly. Place them in a paper bag alongside the banana. The banana's ethylene gas can shorten ripening time in half. Once ripe, avocados can be refrigerated for up to 2 or 3 days if absolutely necessary. However, the quality loss is severe. It is preferable to buy avocados at various stages of ripeness, so that you always have perfectly ripe ones on hand if you cut an avocado and can't consume them all. Here's a secret. Keep the pit in the unused half and rub the exposed flesh with lemon juice. Place it in an airtight jar with a piece of onion. The sulfur molecules found in onions prevent browning without altering taste. This method will keep chopped avocados fresh for up to 2 days at room temperature. The contrast between properly preserved and refrigerated avocados is like night and day. Proper storage retains the brain-boosting lipids, the creamy texture, and all of the anti-aging ingredients. Your body will thank you. Finally, the truth regarding refrigeration has remained buried for far too long. These 9 foods account for thousands of dollars in food waste and enormous nutritional loss. More importantly, they represent squandered potential for improved health throughout our golden years. And every nutrient counts when it comes to anti-aging, cognitive function, and overall health. Don't let your refrigerator ruin your efforts. Store these items properly to recapture their full nutritional value. Your body deserves nothing but the best, and you now know how to offer it. We now want to hear from you. Which of these foods shocked you the most, and have you been refrigerating it for years without realizing the consequences? Please share your experiences and ideas in the comments section below. We love hearing them. Thank you for watching.